So we only have power because of numbers. Is that right? Is that correct for us to use that position to do what we do to all that? No. No, it's not. And as a moral basis, no.
Right.
Now, as a human being sitting here with a hungry stomach sometime and $10 to buy a nice tuna sandwich, will I do that? Yes.
But see, the convenience doesn't justify it.
Right, it doesn't justify
I understand that it's so convenient.
It doesn't justify
I understand you get
exactly.
benefits, but oppressors only oppress to get benefits.
I agree, and I'm not defending that.
Hi, do you want to answer a few questions?
Sure.
Awesome. We're live on YouTube. Is that okay?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay.
I get paid every time it's on now, right?
Right. Yeah. I wish if that was the case, I'd be wealthy, right?
But for real, you and I both.
You stand right there in that little square there.
Okay.
So what we're talking about here, we're just asking people about the dynamic between the powerful and the powerless.
Okay.
So do you think that the powerful, whether they're really strong or maybe they're really smart, or whatever their power is, whatever it is in your mind, do you think the powerful should have the right to oppress, which means to treat unfairly, the powerless?
Of course not. No.
I agree. So that's just to establish some common ground. Exactly.
So no one's going to shoot me yet or nothing.
Right? No, you're good.
Take off running.
Yeah, no, so far you're doing fine.
Okay.
This is where it kind of feels a little tricky, but I promise I'm not trying to trick you.
No worries.
Okay.
No worries. That's why I'm stopped.
So what about the animals that we send to the slaughterhouse or use for food, clothing, entertainment?
Right.
Would you agree that we as the humans are the powerful oppressing the powerless in that situation?
Yeah, because it's all sorts of interpretations and everything. Obviously, yes, insofar as we're the masters of them in all senses of the word. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not inferring whether that's good. Well, it's not always good, of course, but it's not always bad. Part of it is just historical. I mean, that's how we got our foothold.
Yeah, we've been doing it a long
But
time.
I understand there's a point of enlightenment where maybe it isn't quite so necessary. Or definitely we could show more respect in what we do, like the Native Americans used to.
Yeah,
we treat them as a
showing
spiritual,
respect, for sure.
right,
Yeah.
in prayer and in appreciation for what they give. Because, I mean, we're not going to stop consuming them, but we can certainly be more respectful about it.
What about you? Do you need anything specifically from animals that might justify us putting them in that position?
Need in regards to anything, or like just
Yeah,
food?
from animals. Is there anything that you can't get from other sources that you feel you need that comes from animals?
Oh, absolutely. Unconditional love.
Oh man, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm okay with companionship and living among animals. There's nothing wrong with that. I guess what I'm asking is, do you think there's anything that justifies breeding them, putting them into slaughterhouses, using them when we don't need to? Do you think
specific to consumption?
Yeah. Do you think anything justifies that?
Again, of course, all that's wide open because it's like who's justifies to whom.
Oh, and I'm just asking about you.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just clarifying. Okay. As I give my answer, I kind of fell in down where.
Yeah, you got to kind of. We don't often think about it. I get that.
I guess my statement would be, and I understand. I assume what you're coming from and everything.
And don't feel judged either.
No, I agree. I would. I guess my answer would be basically that. I mean, life's not fair. There's pain and cruelty, and there's good and bad, and all the rest of it. And part of the way things are structured, and I assume will continue to be structured, are, we raise animals and all to consume. I don't consume a lot of them anymore, one, because of age, because it doesn't do my heart or my veins good, and two, because of cost. I mean, steak's $25 for a steak. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'll have pasta. So there's still, I mean, we send men and women off to war to die, and even though we don't consume them, that's as much of a waste.
So being aware that, yes, there is suffering in the world and not everything is perfect, does that then justify us continuing to normalize exploitation or to demand someone's exploitation just because we can't solve all problems?
Again, I think, what's the alternative?
The alternative?
And that's part of my answer is, what's the right word for it? Again, I think it's how it's done. Not that it's done necessarily so much as how it's done with respect. Actually, what needs to be done is to have a significant drop in the human population.
You know, funny enough, if we actually stop farming animals, we could feed over our current population, and we would reduce land use by 75%.
Or even just doing it more from a wild sense. Because then
so right now, the mammal biomass, out of the whole mammal biomass on the earth, 4% of it is wild. 60% is farmed animals.
For sure.
So if we stop farming animals, we'd actually make more room for the wild animals to blossom.
And to do it from a largely wild sense, or anything that's close to it, might be a better basis to show them respect and appreciation. The farmed animal,
every
no one
time
knows.
you farm animals, it's always going to take more
it's just
resources.
dead meat. Yeah.
No. So when you use animals, do you know what the trophic pyramid is?
I think that sounds familiar.
So the trophic pyramid just shows you the transfer of energy in any given. It's like the food chain.
Right.
So you got your primary consumers, you got plants, then you got like herbivores.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So
when the carnivore eats the herbivore, they literally lose 90% of the energy. So when you eat a cow, you only get 10% of the energy that went into that cow. Always using animals will lose resources. The bigger issue, though, let's say magically if you used a cow, you got more flesh out of what you gave them. Like if you fed them 10 pounds of grain, you actually got 20 pounds of flesh. That's not how it works. It's quite the opposite.
Well, but I
even if it did, don't you think it would still be immoral to take life from someone who wanted to live?
I guess, again, of course, it's all on the margin. Not looking at 100% or zero. There's always going to be in between. But
what if you were the
victim? I do it. Again, in a Western nation, that hits at what is the person's spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, and most of, at least the corporate religions. Well, the corporate religions don't really allow for the kind of thinking that would have appreciation for what you're talking about, because
you're not a corporation.
No, but it requires most people then to recognize the possibility or the fact that animals have souls.
Well, they don't necessarily have souls, but they're sentient. They feel pain. They want to live.
Well, from my perspective, I believe they do. Now, where it is kind of like a Buddhist philosophy, where it is on the vertical chart of advancement of soul or whatever, it can be argued, but I do believe that, and that's why I say.
How does that justify using them?
It doesn't, but it might help eliminate or reduce using them if they're viewed differently.
Do you think that you have to use them?
Honestly, all I really use is seafood, lots of pastas and fruits, things like that, when I can afford it and get good stuff, which is hard in this country.
There's actually, so we have two fully vegan grocery stores here in Portland. There's the Refillery and there's Food Fight. But there's also, you can find tons of vegan staples in almost any grocery store. The cheapest foods in there, beans, rice, local in-season fruits. I mean, we're in a farmer's market, right? This is going to be all the local stuff. It might be a little pricier here, but you absolutely can find.
Well, absolutely. I mean, worst case scenario, you can get by on rice and beans or quinoa. They'll basically provide all the nutrition you need.
There's other things that satiates, it's delicious.
No argument there. No, there are alternatives, and quite possibly it isn't necessary to do farm animals in any sense of the word. To be honest with you, from my point of view.
You sound very open, and would you be open to me giving you a resource just because you sound interested in the information? Sure. So if you actually if you scan this side, it just takes you to our website. Click what am I funding? It's a little button right there when you come. It'll bring you to a 3-minute movie challenge. Just shows you standard practice. Just showing you what you're demanding, and just ask yourself if you want to keep giving your money to them, because those animals are only there because you give them money. That's how supply and demand works. So you pick it up, they replace it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So you play a big part. You can actually save at least 100 animals a year if you were to switch from your omnivorous diet to a vegan diet.
Well, if you really want to blow some people's minds, what you might consider, I'm part of a group of there's going to be more and more old people like me. So have an avenue where old people can dedicate their body for the nourishment of either animals or people, just to blow their mind, because that starts to break the mind a little bit about what's possible or not.
I hear so many times people say we have to eat these animals because otherwise they'll go to waste, and it's like, what about all the humans? What about all the dogs and cats in shelters?
Because that's not taking away the whole I can't remember the word, cannibalism aspect and all that.
Yeah.
Still, I mean,
what's wrong with
it starts to
cannibalism?
shift people's brains.
Yeah,
Because
what's
just
wrong
the
with
thought,
cannibalism?
right, because, I mean, human beings are living things. What's the difference between that and a
It's
cow?
about the consent, right? If someone
Right.
consents, whatever. It's weird, but it's whatever.
Not only that's like for old people like me, I mean, I'm not ignored, but the shock value of my presence is very minimal anymore. So to have that avenue, to have, with a sticker that I'm dedicating my physical body to the nourishment or so, it just helped disturb people. That would be kind of, because that's what you got to disturb them to change
them. Up, yeah. But just to land on a final note, just so we think about the animals as we're ending here. Before you watch that well, first off, are you willing to watch that documentary that I mentioned, the 3-minute challenge?
I'll probably screw by, because in the mornings I read and everything, and I'll come across this.
I mean, it's
I'll
3
check it out.
minutes.
Yeah, out of respect to you for your time.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, you can even watch it on your phone. If you are willing to do that, would you be willing to just go plant-based until then? And there's a reason why I can explain.
Oh, no, I understand. Well, to be honest with you, not today and tomorrow, because I'm actually here just because I love Portland. I live in Tucson, but I fly up every couple months because I just love being here.
Yeah, it's
this is where I want to live. I don't have the net worth to be able to live here, so I just come and
I definitely don't have a high net worth, but I live in Vancouver, so maybe that's to your point.
So that's why I'm here. And part of it's enjoying the food and everything, so I'm not going to restrict myself on that. But the fact is, I really, except for tuna, occasionally with after I work out and stuff, because the high protein, I really don't eat any meats anymore. It's pastas and fruits and vegetables.
Do you think that tuna specifically, do you think they cared about what happened to them?
Of course not, because it's an economic thing.
Oh, no. So the tuna, I mean, before it was killed, do you think it cared about its life? It cared about living?
Absolutely, to some degree, yes. It's a sentient being, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Even though they live in the water, they still, like you agreed, they're sentient, they care about.
Right.
So it's important to not demand their bodies be exploited.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I understand you're saying you do minimal, but like, what if you were the one victim? They're like, I'm not gonna use your whole family. I'm just gonna use you.
No, I understand. Well, I'm not gonna go 100% cold turkey, because it's just.
So if you were I just want to reiterate.
It's only because.
If you were the victim, you're saying you would accept your oppressor saying, I will reduce.
What my answer would be is this. Because I'm at end of life. I mean, I might live another 20 years.
Not end of life, just right now
you
are.
But for me, as a human experience, I'm not going to do hardcore restrictions on actually
but
things.
What about their options, their choices?
Number one, I show them respect. I don't necessarily pray over every meal, but I do
That's for
appreciate.
You, that's not for them.
Well, if they actually have a spirit and a soul, depending on your belief system.
So if I take your life and I do a prayer afterwards, you think that that's going to make up for the injustice?
It depends on what the reason is. If it was because
I wanted to eat you.
If you have a child and you were starving or whatever.
Not starving, just as I am right now.
Okay. That would be too far out the lines for me. But in those circumstances, no. But there are some circumstances, yes.
So in that circumstance, why is it immoral, in your opinion?
Why is what?
Me eating you and then saying a prayer afterwards.
Oh.
Why is that immoral?
I wouldn't call it immoral. I would say.
I'm not starving though.
No, I would say, as a human being standing here, I'm not going to allow that to happen if it's not going for a good purpose.
You should try to stop it.
Absolutely.
But that shows right there that you think it's wrong and that it should stop, right?
Well, wrong's kind of hardcore. I would say
you don't think it's
that's
wrong
not a
for me to
sacrifice I'm
take
willing
your
to make. Let's put it this way. Say an active shooter started up, and I step forward.
No.
Well, no. It's loss of life.
Yeah, but you're changing.
And I step forward to take the bullet.
Do you see that you're stepping aside from my point that I'm going to take your life just to eat you?
Right.
Why is that immoral?
That's not a judgment I would make.
Why don't you want to die?
I would say I would fight it because I want to continue to live right now.
Exactly. The animals, they're the same.
I agree.
So even that one tuna, when you
agree.
pick that up, you're saying, I appreciate that you took their life. I want you to take someone else's life so I can buy that one too.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, that's how urgent it is. That's how serious it is. It's everything to them. Your life is everything to you.
I would say two aspects of that. They do fight. They do fight to get out of the net.
They
do
do.
fight to escape, and some of them do. Blah blah blah.
But does that justify? Does that make the powerful? Do they have the right to do that just because maybe the powerful can escape?
My thought on that would be one reason for the power is because there's so many of us. So again, if it was like 400 years ago when there were far smaller, no, but there's a point to it though. We're the powerful because there's so many of us, and there's
That's not what I'm asking.
No,
I'm asking, does the powerful have the right? I'm not
the
asking,
actual
are we
value
powerful?
question itself.
I'm not asking, do we have power? I'm asking, do we have the right to oppress the powerless just because we are powerful?
Let's see, because my angle's a little different on it.
I do appreciate this conversation. This is a really
absolutely.
Good
I mean, it's healthy for me too. And I don't take any. I'm not offended by anything. So as long as you don't slap me a couple times.
No, I really do appreciate you being willing to talk about this. This is a hard topic. Some people just get defensive, and I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
thinking
exactly.
About it.
I guess it comes down. Let me say one thing, and maybe I'll do it. Maybe that'll sound.
I also have a suggestion, but I'm going to let you say what you want to say.
We're the powerful because there's so many of us. 400 years ago, in our little ships on the sea, the seas were full of tuna, and they probably had at least the power we did because what we have can make no dent in them.
Okay.
So the power dynamic was either equal or even maybe more in favor of the wild animals and things. And then now it's shifted, of course. There's too many of us. So we only have power because of numbers. Is that right? Is that correct for us to use that position to do what we do to all that? No. Okay. No, it's not. Right. And as a moral basis, no. Right. Now, as a human being sitting here with a hungry stomach sometime and $10 to buy a nice tuna sandwich, will I do that? Yes.
But see, the convenience doesn't justify it.
Right, it doesn't justify it.
I understand that it's so convenient.
It doesn't justify
I understand you get benefits, but oppressors only oppress to get benefits.
I agree, and I'm not defending that. But I'm saying...
what I'm here to say is, it sounds like you actually share principles with us, but you're just not living in alignment with them.
Right, I won't go, I won't embrace them fully.
So what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that lives by your principles so that the world is a reflection of what you want to see? Or do you want to be a person that just focuses on your pleasure regardless of how it affects others?
I think that gets to part of the point too. I'm not coming from the angle of absolute principle.
Veganism isn't about, it's about principle. It's about saying, I don't want to support human slavery. So if I see a product that is directly from human slavery, I'm not going to support that.
Right, I understand.
So it's the same thing. I see that animal slavery, there's a direct victim. Right. And if I was that victim, I would want my oppressors to stop. I wouldn't want them to continue or say baby steps or just one more. I'd want them just to stop and use the alternatives.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not that absolute, and for the remainder of my life, I don't expect...
You sound like a racist in that sense that they're like, I'm not totally for human liberation from slavery. Right. I like it when it's convenient for me, but I do think it's wrong. That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Why this don't mix it in with that?
Well, it's the same thing in the sense that a sentient being was robbed of their freedom, autonomy, right? Their personhood. They were demeaned into a thing to be used. So in a similar way, animals are sentient beings being enslaved and used without their best interest considered or their consent.
I guess that's where our chasm kind of is, because the way I'm hearing from you, and it may not be intended that way, but that's the way I'm reading it, is morality, 100% absolute morality, like a Buddhist monk or something on those lines.
I'm not a Buddhist monk.
Well, no. But absolute, either you're 100% moral.
Are you 100% against racism?
Whereas in the world I occupy and for the way I live my life, some levels of morality are higher and lower than others.
Are you 100% against racism? Is it ever fair to discriminate someone based off of their race?
No, I understand what you're saying. Just want to think through.
I'm a little concerned.
No.
It should be a straight no.
But, well, not necessarily, because
when would you ever discriminate based on race? When would that ever be moral?
I'm not looking at racism like that. I'm looking at.
I'm asking you. No, I'm talking about racism. Is it ever fair to discriminate against someone based off of this color of their skin?
Well, of course not. No.
Exactly.
The only basis for discernment with human beings, for me,
So you are 100% against racism.
Yes, is the
Okay.
quality of their heart.
The fact
And
that
the
they care
quality-
about that they're gonna exist. They care about themselves.
When I travel a lot outside this country because the way this country is and blah, 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 all the Western societies. I go to Thailand a lot because it's Buddhist, blah, blah, blah. But the difference is when you go there, the only thing they look at is your heart. And I've learned that that's actually the best thing to discern or judge people by
That's
is
an
the heart.
external thing. That's you on somebody else, right? What matters is your
because the
inherent
quality of the
rights.
heart will show,
Do you know what
will
inherent
reflect.
rights are?
Okay, but that's
But you're
that's the
talking
thing.
law. You're just saying something is not measurable.
No, not at all. Not
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Because as a living person, I mean, when you
So we actually have measures that we know that animals feel.
Oh, I
right?
understand,
And that's
I understand.
all that matters. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter about anything else, the quality of the person, what good they do in the world, if they contribute
understand.
to anything, right? All that matters is that somebody cares about what happens to themselves.
I don't argue with you on all that. It's
So
just,
then
but for
what is it then-
where I am in my life, I'm
In
not.
your mind,
into that.
the next time that you go to pick up an animal product, what in your mind is telling you this is okay and I should do this?
I'm gonna have all these animal spirits not chasing me in my death. I can just see it coming. That's why I'm careful.
probably
That's
been
why
around
I'm
you for a
weighing my
while.
answers. Oh yeah, that's why I'm weighing my answers carefully because I do believe in that. Again, for me, the decision is whether not to or not, except for
Thinking
supporting.
from your perspective again. Think
Well,
of it from the
that's-
victim's perspective. What would you want your oppressor to do?
Actually, and again, I know this is, well, you want honest answers, so I have to give you honest answers. I would want them to continue to be there because I do
Wait, to use you. I'm not saying a caretaker. I'm saying someone is exploiting you. What would you want your
Oh, as a human
exploiter?
being?
Yeah, they're
Oh, okay.
exploiting you, using you without your consent, regardless of your best interests. They're using you for their benefit.
Right.
What do you want them to do? You want them to keep using you or stop using you?
Honestly, that wouldn't be, I mean, obviously nobody wants to be used or like that, but
That's the point.
that's the decision. The decision then is what
you're
do I
going back
do?
to the oppressor. The victim wants their oppressor to stop.
There are
The victim.
living creatures who do not
does the
accept
victim want?
that control over them. Period. And so the decision is
So you're
not
just making an argument for me that they want to be free.
right.
Yeah.
But the
So
decision then is what do I do as a living
demanding that they
creature?
be enslaved.
You guys let me talk.
Well, we've been talking a while. I might
Yeah.
end it here.
Okay,
I just
that's
think
fine,
that
that's fine.
you keep pivoting to the oppressor's position. I really urge you to, when you watch that 3-minute documentary,
Right.
imagine what they're going through. Imagine what they want happen. Do they want it to keep going, or would they like it to stop? That's all.
No,
I'll leave you at
that's
that.
happening. And I don't mean to frustrate you, but I'm just being honest.
Oh, I'm not frustrated.
So-
I'm more like, I don't think we're going anywhere. I think that
Yeah.
you keep jumping to the oppressors. You're thinking, but there's these benefits. And of course, there will always be benefits. Always.
And from my side,
for you oppressing
I guess
them.
kind of the wall I hit with you is it's a bigger question than that.
It's not.
From an old
It's
man's
not.
perspective.
It's not bigger than that. It's way small. It's right there in front of you. It's the
From an
victim.
old man's perspective.
No,
it's a
you're
bigger issue
complicating
than
it to give yourself permission to continue making victims.
I
You are.
don't-
Right now, you're giving yourself permission in your mind.
'Cause I don't need
you
permission.
Yeah,
I
you
realize-
need to
I
make a
realize that.
justification. If you're going to violate someone's body, you better have a justification. And whether or not you're going to be held responsible doesn't matter. You live with your choices, but you need to know you're stealing life from someone when you don't need
Okay.
to.
Yeah, we're diverging big time
Okay.
now.
Well,
That's like-
we'll end it
which
here.
is okay,
Yeah,
which is
we
okay.
we had a great conversation. If you do want to watch this on that card,
Yeah, for sure.
you can actually see when we're live, and you can see the live. You can actually see our interaction and see how we did.
Can I? Once you turn that off, can I ask? Just
Oh, it's actually live. I'll be live for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your? I just because I want to understand you a little bit better. What's your background? I mean, why are you an only child, or you come from a large family, or from
I'm not really here to talk about that.
Well,
If
'cause
you
it-
want, you can reach out to me privately. You can find us on
no,
that card.
I won't bother you with that. But I'm just curious because because clearly you're motivated to make a difference. And I
I'm
really like
motivated
that.
because I've seen what the animals go through,
Right.
and I wouldn't want to. I couldn't tolerate doing that or going through that. I couldn't tolerate my companion animals going through that.
How long have you been taking action?
I've been actively speaking up for probably a couple of years, but I've been vegan for almost 10.
Is your family vegan?
No.
Okay. Was there one experience or something that made you decide to start taking action instead of sitting
dairy.
back? What?
It was seeing the dairy industry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they rape cows in order to get milk.
That's.
She has to be pregnant in order to produce milk, and she doesn't decide. The farmer decides for her, and oftentimes, about 70% of the time, the farmer gloves up to his shoulder and penetrates the cow through her bum, holds her colon like a glove, or uses her colon like a glove, and then holds her cervix in place. Before that, they jack off a bull to get, and they'll actually literally put dildos in his bum to make him come. That's someone's job. And then they take that, they put it in a syringe, and they put it inside a female cow. And they literally, inside her colon, massage it back and forth. And in my opinion, that's bestiality. That's somebody raping a cow.
It is.
That's how you get milk, though.
That's absolutely.
That's how they make more pigs. So, when you learn that we're raping animals, we're violating them, we're stealing their babies, we're slitting their throats, and then you learn that we don't need to even do this, it's just unbearable. I can't just sit back. I have to speak up.
Have you found any place that practices that? Or
Portland is like one of the vegan centers. Like I said, we have 2 vegan grocery stores.
Very good. Any place else, or any countries that are more?
I mean, India has lots of vegetarians, I guess. England is pretty high in vegans. They have probably more vegans than we do in America.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
There's a big movement across the world, though. It's not just Western countries. It's everywhere.
What is your kind of reaction here when you start interviewing people? Is it really?
Yeah. We've had a couple people, they come up to us frequently and tell us that they haven't consumed animal products since talking to us.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you get any that are clearly rigid and insecure?
Oh, always. Yeah. Because
what happens in those
a culture
situations?
thing. Well, I talk to them about their own principles like I did with you. Most people do share this principle that, like kicking a dog for fun, you immediately know that's wrong.
Right.
But I'm getting benefits from it.
Right.
It doesn't matter. My benefits don't outweigh the dog's experiences.
For sure.
Same thing when it comes to cows, pigs, chickens, fish, all of them.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Same thing.
Well, it's a pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah, I really appreciate. What was your name again?
I'm Chuck.
Chuck, I'm Anna. It
Anna,
was lovely
nice to
talking
meet
to
you,
you.
Anna.
I really urge you to watch that 3-minute
For sure.
documentary, okay?
You don't hate me, right?
I don't hate anybody, but
Okay.
I do want you to make change because you are taking life from somebody.
Absolutely.
I
respect
you're
what
kicking
doing.
dogs for no reason.
Oh, for real. Hey, thanks, Anna.
Yeah, you have a great day.